Hi, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Case closed, winning digital marketing strategies for solicitors. Good to see you. We've got a few individuals that are coming into the chat, so welcome. And while we allow them a time to get loaded and registered, if you will, if you're here, go ahead and find the chat questions area of our webinar and just let us know the name of your legal firm and maybe your role within the firm. Are you a marketing manager? Are you one of the main solicitors at the group? It's always great to see who we have on our calls. Awesome. I'm seeing quite a few come through. So really good to see everyone on our session today. We'll go ahead and get started. Again, case closed, winning digital marketing strategies for solicitors. If this is your first time joining a webinar from LOCALiQ, a special welcome to you. We are an award-winning multi-channel digital marketing agency that specializes in local marketing. Our digital marketing specialists help hundreds of businesses every day with SEO, PPC advertising, paid social, display advertising, and so much more. But we are part of the NewsQuest Media Group, which means we're able to give businesses exclusive access to a network of more than 200 trusted news brands in more than 35 locations across the UK, both in print and online. So we're the marketing agency near you at the heart of your community. We've got a really great session planned for you today. In fact, here's our agenda for today's session. Today will be a little bit fast-paced, but it is designed to give every legal firm that's a part of our webinar today an opportunity to take something away, no matter where they are in their digital advertising journey. So we're going to share our best practice tips across website marketing, SEO, PPC, social media, as well as offer you some KPIs, some key performance indicators that you should be tracking to measure the success of all of your campaigns. You'll receive today's webinar as a recording, as well as the PowerPoint slides that I'm taking you through via email within 24 hours. So don't feel bad if you can't take as many notes as you like to, because you will get all of those resources in your email within 24 hours. And we will go at a very fast pace, but if you have questions along the way, feel free to go to the questions in the chat area, just where you introduced yourself, and submit your questions, and I'll be sure to answer them. In fact, we've got a Q&A segment marked at the end of our session today, but you don't have to wait until then to submit your questions. Go ahead and submit them as they come to your mind. And finally, before we go on, let me introduce myself. I'm Brandon Griffin, head of B2B marketing for LOCALiQ, and I'm really happy to be the presenter for today, taking you through the marketing tips we have for you. So let's get started and jump in and start talking about this whole space of digital marketing. You know, the digital era has really fundamentally transformed the way individuals seek legal services, because a growing majority are turning to online platforms for information and solutions. Leveraging digital marketing really offers solicitors like a multifaceted approach to not only broaden their reach, but also establish a really robust online presence that resonates not just with current customers, but most importantly, potential clients as well. So whether you're just getting started with digital marketing or you've been honing your strategy for a few years, you should regularly review even the basics, things like your target audience and business goals and KPIs. Those things are really crucial for a successful marketing strategy. And that's where we're going to start today, talking about defining a target audience, because without having these elements in place, your legal firm could be wasting your budget on marketing to the wrong people, and you also struggle to prove success if you don't have goals or ways to measure your efforts. So here are three things that you should consider when you're trying to identify your target audience. Number one, sounds simple, but you have to do research. You want to ask questions like, who are your existing customers, and are there any demographics or characteristics that set them apart from others, or are there any similarities between different groups that you should take into consideration? You want to check who the competition is targeting. Take an in-depth look at what they're offering, and if you have like a similar offering, think about how you can make yours even more appealing. And then finally, you want to consider your current services that you offer. Think about what you're offering, who would benefit from it the most, and of those people, not just who will benefit from it the most, but who would be most likely to actually pay for your services. So those are the things that you should really take into consideration when you're trying to define your audience. And taking some time to do that is really important. Here's a resource about understanding what a buyer persona is and how to create it. It's available on our website. When you receive this PowerPoint slide deck, you'll be able to just click through and learn more about it. It gives you some free templates that you can use to help you as you're trying to define the different buyer personas that your legal firm could go after. Very helpful resource. And again, I would encourage you to take some time to go through it. The next area, very briefly, worth talking about as well is setting goals. Now, without defined objectives, your marketing strategy is likely to lack direction. And if it lacks direction, it's going to make it even more challenging to monitor and track the performance of all of your campaigns. And when you're determining your business goals, you definitely want to remember to use the SMART goal framework. So thinking about, is it specific, is it measurable, things of that nature. Because the more specific your goals, the easier it'll be to track your efforts, and the more likely you'll be able to be successful in implementing the digital marketing strategies that we're going to talk about today. So as it relates to goal setting, here are some tips that we want to encourage you to consider. Number one, you want to define specific objectives. So for example, maybe you want to increase the percentage of clients that are reaching out to your firm. Maybe retention or referrals is something that you're tracking. Or maybe you just want to boost your website traffic. The objective here is to just define a goal and try to make it quantifiable. Number two, you want to identify KPIs to track your progress along the way. We've got a great resource on our website to help you do that. And we're going to talk more about KPIs a little bit later on in our session today. Three is making sure that your goals align with and are realistic with the measurable growth of your law firm. So growth is great, marketing can be great, but nothing is worse than if you and your operational team aren't able to handle internally all the leads that are going to come through your digital marketing efforts. And then number four, you want to make sure you establish a clear timeline for when you want to achieve certain goals by. It's really important in order for you to measure whether or not a digital marketing tactic is working or not, evaluating how long it takes for your business to see a return. So those are just a few tips that we would suggest as it relates to defining an audience and as well as setting goals. I know it's very foundational, may seem common, but it is very important as well, so worth talking about. All right, so now let's talk about the first digital marketing tactic that we're going to cover, which are websites for solicitors. And this is important because your website serves as a foundational piece for all of your online activity. And some tips that, as it relates to your website, that we'd like to share, and we've got a few, but I'm going to go through them very quickly just to kind of give you an idea. Number one, you want to make sure that you're building your website in a very clear structure, and you want to make sure that it's easy to navigate. you want to make sure that your website perhaps has like a hierarchy structure. So your home page should be considered the top page, and then you want to have different main sections and subsections linked from it. So you want to try to organize your content in the web pages in a very logical and easy to follow way. Very important that you keep it very simple and use a structure like this. Number two, you want to keep your website branding consistent. The easiest way to ensure that your site looks professional is to ensure that you keep a consistent color scheme throughout your website. If your legal firm has branding and guidelines for your brand, then you want to be sure that your website is consistent with it. Number three, you want to make sure that your website is mobile friendly. Um, Mobile friendliness is really important these days. You should try to utilize a responsive design for your website if possible. That way, it ensures that your website is easy to navigate across all devices. So whether a person is using an iPad, a desktop, a laptop, a responsive design really does enhance the user experience. Consistent and professional imagery is also important when you have your website. I know we're talking about the legal space, and you may not have physical products and services to showcase in terms of pictures, and so you may find yourself needing to use high quality stock imagery to your website, and that's okay. You just want to make sure that it's good quality, and you want to make sure that the images are consistent as well. A good idea too for the legal space is to consider using images of your offices as well as images of your solicitors and your staff. It's always great to see live images like that because it really does help to humanize your brand. Number five is incorporating client testimonials. It's really good if your firm can incorporate these because testimonials, positive reviews, all of those things build credibility. And even real life success stories that come across through these testimonials help potential clients understand the positive impact that your legal service can have. So try to incorporate that. And then when you get all of that traffic to your website, it's so important to make sure that you make a good use of calls to action. Strategically place them throughout your website. So whether it's prompting visitors to contact your firm or to schedule a consultation or to download resources, you want to guide them to the actions that you want them to take. And you want to make it really easy for them to know what that next step is in order to do business with your firm and your solicitors. Number seven is to ensure that your website's content is very helpful and informative. And so on these service pages here, you want to make sure that you offer in-depth information. You want to make sure that even perhaps like a blog is helpful on your website. And we'll share more about that a little bit later too, how blogs can be incorporated into your website and content strategy. And then just two more here to incorporate. Number eight, you want to make sure that you create opportunities to capture data and information so you can understand the users that are coming to your website. And this is also important because when you put things on your website like a newsletter sign up, or you have a downloadable legal resource, and you get people's email addresses and other information, it allows your firm to be able to follow up with them. So that's really important. And then as you're collecting information, you want to make sure that you speak to your website designer and your web hosting company to make sure that your website is secure and that you have the proper credentials and labels so that people will be more open, more apt to provide you with their personal information and details so that your firm can follow up. And then last but not least, you want to make sure that you can regularly monitor the performance. And this is where those KPIs come in handy. And we'll talk more about that a little bit later on in our session today. The next section in digital marketing tactic is SEO, search engine optimization. SEO is an organic way of improving visibility for your legal firm on search engines like Google, like Bing, those platforms. And it's really critical in ensuring that potential clients can easily find and engage with legal services when they're searching various keywords and terms, right? Because when people are looking for services and products, it typically starts with a search on Google or Bing. And one of the key advantages of SEO lies in its ability to attract targeted traffic. So by strategically targeting specific keywords and phrases related to legal services, your firm can really ensure that the traffic that's coming to your website consists of individuals who are actually looking for legal services and assistance. So with PPC, it's a really good, I'm sorry, with SEO and then incorporating that into PPC, it's a really good way to get just targeted users to your website, and it increases the likeliness of being able to convert them from website visitors to clients for your firm. And it really starts with keywords. That's like the foundation of everything with SEO and page search and search in general. And two main reasons businesses should conduct keyword research include these here. The first one is that because when you conduct keyword research, your firm will gain insight into the topics and the queries that are really relevant to uh, your business, number one. And then number two, once you find out what those keywords and those terms are, you can strategically integrate those keywords into your content. And when you do that, it'll improve the visibility of your website in those search pages when people are searching. And so we've got here just a few keyword ideas. Let me bring that up. There we go. A few keyword ideas for your firm to consider. Keywords related to legal services, and you can use tools like Moz, SEMrush, and a website called Uber Suggest. And all of those websites that I mentioned have free options, but sometimes if uh, you need a little bit more advanced capabilities, they do have higher packages that you can use. But tools like that will help you discover keywords like these that you could then incorporate into your strategy. For example, solicitors in, and then whatever city or region that you're in, um, family law solicitors, real estate solicitors, personal injury solicitors. These are the terms and phrases that people typically go to Bing and Google and insert when they're trying to find out the best firm to go to. So you want to make sure that your business is coming up for these. And then just remember that when you're conducting keyword research, you should always consider things like the monthly search volume and keyword difficulty. And these things can be found in those tools that I mentioned previously, like Moz and SEMrush and Uber Suggest. And it'll tell you how many people search those phrases each month, and how easy or how difficult it'll be for your firm to show up in those results, and to try to get to page one. And then once you begin to identify those keywords, you should try to incorporate them into your content strategy, especially for search. And so when you're doing this, we suggest that you perhaps add the target keywords that you're trying to target within the first 100 words of your content, so that people don't have to read all the way down or scroll to know that the content on this page is relevant to what they're looking for, right? And then you want to incorporate both organic keywords as well as those ones that you're trying to target into your content. And you want to avoid keyword stuffing. And so there are a lot of different areas of real estate on your website to where you can place keywords, so it doesn't seem like to the search platforms that you're just cramming all of these keywords in trying to show up. You want to do it strategically. So for example, like the list that I just showed you, you want to pick out a main keyword and a secondary keyword that your firm is going to target. So for example, maybe your primary keyword is family law solicitor, London. Your secondary keyword could be child custody lawyer in London. So it's kind of within the same range of services, same type of audience, but different play on the actual keywords. And so if family law solicitor London is your primary keyword and your secondary keyword is, for example, child custody lawyer in London, you can incorporate those into the title of your website, of your page rather. So for example, your title for your page may say, expert family law solicitor in London / child custody lawyer available. Maybe that's the title. And then you even have things like the meta descriptions that you can code into your website as well. And you can put in those phrases and statements that then carry over into your search engine result pages. So for example, your meta description may say something like, looking for a reputable family law solicitor in London. If so, our team of experienced solicitors specialize in family law matters, including, and then this is where your secondary keyword comes in, child custody. And then you can say, contact us today for expert legal advice. So a lot there, but the main thing is from that list that I shared with you, you want to identify and know which ones are going to be our primary keywords and which ones are going to be our secondary keywords. And then finally, as it relates to your content, another thing that you could consider doing is to try to build high quality backlinks back to your website. And this is really good because it can be very supportive of your SEO efforts. And this is when you have other websites linking back to, like it says, your website. So you want to reach out to your chambers of commerce. If you're a part of business improvement districts, you want to let them know of the helpful information that you have on your website that can help people, the public, constituents, and then ask them to place a link on their website back to the content on yours. And so the search engines really like to see when how credible your website is in the eyes of other websites within the space through this process. And then a few blog ideas, because we mentioned the blog are things like this. Your legal questions answered. People always have questions and they're looking for the answers, and they can come to your website, your blog, to find them. Insights into legal trends, estate planning demystified. These are just some ideas of different blogs that your firm could use. And just overall, blogs help add additional value to your website and help position your firm as an authoritative voice on legal services and in this legal space. So if you don't have one already, you definitely want to try to implement a blog strategy into your marketing mix. And local SEO is the final area of SEO for solicitors that I want to cover for today. And this is, or an example of this is like when your firm perhaps is situated like in Bristol, and you want to appear in searches that are conducted in and around Bristol, especially like if someone is searching for solicitors in Bristol. And like we just mentioned in all those example keywords. And that's important because it's even more realistic too, that you'll want to show up for potential clients who are searching in that area. And it's more likely that they'll actually reach out to your law firm because of your proximity. So important to especially reach those who are right in your own backyard or garden rather, looking for services that you offer. So it's important to show up for them in that way. Then once you have set up like your website with these location focused keywords and you've integrated your physical address, your phone number into all of your different web pages or the footer of your website so it's on every single page, you may want to consider setting up a Google Business profile. And you can even do this for every location. So if your firm has more than one location, you can set up a Google Business profile for each location. And when you do that, it helps increase the likeliness of your firm showing up in the Google Map Pack area. And this is the area where on Google it typically like suggests 3 legal firms that are close in the proximity of the person that's conducting the search. And so that's a really prominent space to try to get into on the search engine result page, that if you do a Google Business profile for your firm, it can increase your chances of appearing there. Now, I know the topic of SEO can get very technical very quickly. So we've got this resource that you can go to on our website, or you can just click through the slides once you get it. It's an SEO masterclass. It consists of about 3 or 4 webinars that we've done over the last few weeks that covers all topics of SEO. So from the very foundational level of understanding to very advanced strategies. If you want to know more about SEO, I encourage you to go through that SEO masterclass. It's free and on demand. And then also we've got this resource here, how to advertise on Google Maps. And you can go in what we've talked about a little bit more in depth and take a deeper dive if you'd like to. And again, I know I'm going very quickly. We just have a lot to cover, but the webinar is being recorded. And feel free, if you have questions, to go to the questions and chat area and type your questions in, and we'll make sure we cover those toward the end of our session as well. All right, so the next area that we're talking about is PPC for solicitors. Now, PPC uses the same ranking criteria as pay-per-click campaigns across all industries. It scores your ads based on their relevance to your audience and its helpfulness. And to rank your ad, Google uses a quality score based on how relevant your ad copy is to the keywords that you're bidding on. Now, one of the key benefits of PPC is that it ensures immediate visibility by placing your ads at the top of the search engine results. And that can be a really big advantage in this competitive market where potential clients may not extensively scroll through all the different search results. So really important that you try to appear as close to the top as possible, and paid search allows you to do that. Another example is that PPC can help solicitors define as well as reach very specific target audiences, because it allows specific targeting of geographic locations, demographics, and keywords. And so when you use that, you can ensure that your ads reach the right audience that's actively searching for legal services. And so very important benefit there that you can take away. And then also PPC allows solicitors to retain control over budgets, and that's an upside because you're only paying when a user clicks on the ad. And so this is a really cost-effective approach that enables budget allocation based on specific goals. And even if a user doesn't click on the ad, the exposure is still contributing to the brand awareness for your legal firm. And so, and then you don't pay for just showing up, you only pay for when people click on it. But if they don't click on it, you still benefit from it. And when your firm consistently shows up through PPC, it reinforces your brand in the minds of potential clients. So, that's a win-win there. And so these are just numerous benefits of PPC, but it's also worth noting that you shouldn't solely rely on PPC for your long-term marketing strategy because it can prove costly. Instead, you want to aim to use a mix of PPC and things like SEO to ensure long-term visibility across your search engines. And then finally, just a quick reference for you. Here are the steps to a successful PPC campaign. You want to do an analysis of your competitors, as we talked about at the onset of our webinar, and make sure that your PPC ads stand out from that of your competitors. You want to conduct keyword research. And so keyword research is not just for SEO, it can also be very helpful in your PPC campaign, because you're going to be identifying keywords that are relevant to your legal practice areas. And then you'll consider both short and long-term keywords that potential clients might be using. And if you want to know more about short and long-term keywords or long tail keywords, we've got more information about that on our website. And then campaign creation, you want to make sure that your copy stands out, like I mentioned, and then you want to make sure that you have good quality landing pages as well. So think about it. When someone clicks on your ad on Google or Bing, when they come to your website, how good is that experience? And are they going to be reading information that's relevant to what just made them click to come through to your legal firm? So all of those things can help influence whether or not you have an overall successful campaign. Next will be social media for solicitors. Now, before getting started with social media, it is a really good idea to work out why you'll be using social media and how much time you'll be able to dedicate to maintaining a social presence. There are social media platforms that are launching every year, and even the ones that we currently have are changing, even if they're just changing their name, from like Twitter to X. There's a lot of change in this space, and so it's a really good idea to try to make sure that you're grounded in terms of how you'll manage these channels. And it's also a good idea to create some internal rules on, for example, like the tone of voice that your business will use, so that way your communications will feel cohesive and professional within this space. But once you do that foundational work, social media can really help solicitors improve their online reach. And here are just a few tips that you should consider. Number one, you want to define your target audience. Again, there we are talking about audience again, but it shows up in everything that we do when it comes to digital marketing. You want to make sure that you understand your target audience and tailor your content and your engagement strategies to resonate with the individuals that you want to reach. You want to make sure that you choose the right platforms. You want to focus your efforts on the platforms where you know your audience will be most likely. So if you're trying to go for a professional networking audience, a professional audience who are interested in the legal field, you may want to go to LinkedIn. But if you've got a legal service that's marketed towards the younger demographic, that may be your message to get into Instagram, TikTok, etc. So you want to lead with where you know your audiences are. And then you want to share valuable content. Every social media platform has different types of content that resonate with the users there. So you want to make sure that you're sharing the right content on the right platform. And then once you post that content, you want to make sure that you're engaging with followers. Don't just post and go. Don't just post and go. You want to make sure that you're responding to the comments and engaging in relevant discussions, because that builds a sense of community and it fosters relationships with potential clients even before they start doing business with your legal firm. And although most of the postings on social media are organic and free to post, they do have paid options as well. So if the budget allows, you should consider running targeted social media ads, because they can help you reach even more specific demographics on the platform. And again, with this, you just want to make sure that your ad copy and your message is very clear, so that way you don't waste any unnecessary budget trying to reach that right audience. And then, like everything, you want to make sure you monitor the analytics and adjust your strategy along the way. And then these are just some very quick social content ideas for you to consider. For example, You may want to incorporate some visually appealing graphics that showcase legal tips or frequently asked questions related to common legal issues. Those do really great in the social space. Behind the scenes photos are always really fun and help humanize your practice and help you build a connection with your audience. So this is where you want to share photos that you can from different cases, or maybe how your firm is engaged in the community, showing community photos. Those always resonate with individuals as well. And then finally, infographics on legal processes really help break down complex legal topics and conversations into visually understandable steps. And so whether you're explaining the steps of estate planning or the legalities of a personal injury claim, visually presenting information can really demystify the legal system for your audience. And the last section that I just want to share with you is a conversation about KPIs, these key performance indicators that will help you track, measure, and adjust the performance of your marketing strategy. Now, you can review these a little bit more in depth once you have the slides, but here are the metrics that that can be really helpful on your digital marketing journey to show your ROI, especially if you have to report in and share this information with others on your management team. And you have things like website analytics, conversion tracking, client surveys and feedback, email marketing metrics, content marketing metrics, competitor analysis, and then two of the ultimate ones, client acquisition costs, and then your ultimate ROI, return on investment, which takes in consideration pretty much all of these. When you combine these tracking methods and strategies, you'll really be able to gain some valuable insights into the performance of your marketing efforts. So that way your firm can make really informed legal decisions and then continuously optimize the strategies for even better results. And I know that the digital marketing can be a lot to wrap your mind around, but it really does work, especially for those who have implemented. We found that they do find really good success. Here's an example of a client that we worked with that offers advice in family law, wills, probate, property, commercial, and business law. They operate in more than 10 locations, about 10 locations across the UK, including London, which is a really competitive market and space. But when they came to us, they lacked visibility across some of their key locations. Their website didn't follow the best practices in website development or SEO, and ultimately their website didn't match what people were coming to try to find out about. And so we devised a strategy here at LOCALiQ that included rebuilding their website. We provided them with an integrated digital marketing campaign strategy, which included both SEO and PPC. And the results were pretty good for this particular legal firm. And you see it here. We increased their keyword rankings about 270%. We increased their first page ranking, showing up on the first page. I know it sounds like a big number, but it was a huge jump. It was 1,000% increase. And then all in all, they saw more than 9,000 leads come through their website for this duration of this campaign. And then the caveat to that is that we saw that SEO accounted for just about 50% of all of those leads. So they didn't get all of their leads from just paid search or SEO. It was a combined effort, which really goes to show that you should really try to incorporate multiple strategies in your marketing mix as much as possible. So I know we covered a lot there, but as you get the slides, you can click through. We've got some other examples, because this is just one example of a legal firm that we've worked with and the success that they've seen in this space of digital marketing. But you can click through and see more on our website. And then Yeah, I know we covered a lot there, but just wanted to make sure that we covered as much as we can because we've got quite a few legal firms that are on the call today, and everyone is at a different stage. So hopefully, no matter where you are on your journey, you've been able to extract some tips to either confirm that your firm is doing things in the best way, or maybe you're walking away with some tips so that you and your team can enhance your strategies just a little bit more. And I think that uh, even if you can't find just one thing to do, I want to encourage you to do this. We'll put the link in the chat. On our website, we have a free SEO website audit tool. And so if you go to that link that we'll put in the chat, click it, you put in your website address, and it'll come back with a report after looking at more than 100 different factors. It'll tell you how your website is faring as it relates to SEO and areas like on-page SEO, links, performance. And so it'll look at all those things that we talked about and then give you some key actionable areas for how your team can improve your website, especially for SEO. So I want to encourage you to do that. The link is in the chat. So it's a really quick and easy way to apply some of the things that we've just talked about today. All right, so thank you for your questions that you have submitted along the way. I've got those here. We've got time maybe for 2 questions, but if we don't get to answer all the questions, just stay tuned to your email on tomorrow because you'll get the webinar recording, the PowerPoint slides, and then if any questions come through that we aren't able to answer, we'll make sure that we include those as well. All right, so one question that I have here as we move to our Q&A in the last few minutes here, how can I ensure that my digital marketing efforts comply with legal regulations and ethics? Very good question, and really important too, right? Given the space that we're talking about in the sector. It is essential to stay updated on legal advertising regulations and ethical guidelines set by different regulatory bodies. Additionally, working with experienced digital marketing professionals who understand those regulations can also help ensure compliance. And so I'm happy to say here at LOCALiQ, we are well versed as to that compliancy, and we can ensure that your solicitors are compliant so you can confidently promote your firm online. So if you have questions in that space, feel free to connect with us and we can talk with you on a one-on-one basis as well. Okay, another question is, how can I leverage email marketing effectively as a solicitor? Good question. Email marketing can be a powerful tool, especially for solicitors to stay connected with clients, sharing valuable content, and even nurture leads before they even become clients. One suggestion would be to segment your email list so that way you can personalize your content and then provide relevant updates. So you don't just want to, if you have the bandwidth and the capacity to implement this, you definitely want to try to steer from sending the same email to everyone. And so if you know that there are individuals that are particularly interested in certain areas of law that you practice, then you want to make sure that you're only sending them that relevant information. When you do that, it can really enhance engagement and foster stronger client relationships. All right. Well, with that, we are at time. I want to thank everyone for taking time today to join us from wherever you are on this webinar. We hope that you found it very helpful, and no matter where you are on your digital marketing journey, we hope that you're able to extract something that'll help your legal firm get further along in your digital marketing journey. I want to encourage you to, number one, do that free SEO audit so you can see how your website currently fares. And then also recommend that you reach out to our digital marketing experts because we work with a lot of legal firms within this space, and we would love to be able to support you in achieving your specific growth goals and and implementing digital marketing strategies that can support and aid you in that journey. So with that, again, thank you for taking the time to join us, and we hope to see you on a future LOCALiQ webinar. We'll see you soon.